I recently platinumed Astrobot and while playing through it, I started wondering how many of these characters actually have platinums. So join me as I go through each character and show off who has what platinums. Before we start, I don't know everything about every franchise, so if I missed anything, which I probably have, let me know down in the comments, and all the sources I use will be listed in the description as well. I'm starting off with the VIP stages, going in order of which you find them, starting with Ape Escape. We have Ape Escape for the PS4 and 5, Ape Escape on the Loose for the PS4 and 5, Ape Escape Academy for the PS4 and 5, and Ape Academy 2 for the PS4 and 5. Next up we have God of War, which includes God of War 1 for the PS3 and Vita, God of War 2 for the PS3 and Vita, God of War Chains of Olympus for the PS3, God of War 3 for the PS3, God of War 3 Remastered for the PS4, God of War Ghost of Sparta for the PS3, God of War Ascension for the PS3, God of War 2018 for the PS4, and God of War Ragnarok for the PS4 and 5. Next is Uncharted, with Uncharted Drake's Fortune, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, and Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception for the PS3, along with all the remastered versions for the PS4. We have Uncharted Golden Abyss for the PS Vita, Uncharted 4 Thieves End for the PS4, Uncharted The Lost Legacy for the PS4, and Uncharted The Legacy of Thieves The Collection for the PS5. Next up is Loco Roco, with Loco Roco for the PS4, Loco Roco 2 for the PS4, and Loco Roco Midnight Carnival for the PS4 and 5. And finally for the VIP stages is Horizon, with Horizon Zero Dawn for the PS4 and 5, Horizon Forbidden West for the PS4 and 5, Horizon Call of the Mountain for the PSVR 2, and the newly released LEGO Horizon Adventures for the PS5. Now that I've went through all the VIP stages, I'm going to go through each franchise in alphabetical order, starting with Arclight Twilight of the Spirits for the PS4, Beyond Two Souls for the PS3 and 4, Bloodborne for the PS4, and the Buzz series, which includes Buzz Quiz TV for the PS3, Buzz Brain Off for the PS3, Buzz Quiz World for the PS3, and Buzz the Ultimate Music Quiz for the PS3. Next up is the Castlevania series, which has Castlevania Advanced Edition for the PS4, and Castlevania Requiem Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood for the PS4. There's many more Castlevania games out there, I just didn't know which ones included Alucard and Rigdar. Next up we have Concrete Genie for the PS4 and the whole Crash Bandicoot franchise, which has Crash Bandicoot for the PS4, Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back for the PS4, Crash Bandicoot Warp for the PS4, Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time for the PS4 and 5, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel for the PS4, Crash Team Racing PS5, and Crash Team Rumble for the PS4. We have Days Gone for the PS4, both Dark Cloud 1 and 2 for the PS4, Death Stranding and Death Stranding Director's Cut for the PS4 and 5, Demon Souls for the PS3 and 5, Detroit Become Human for the PS4, and the whole Devil May Cry series, which has Devil May Cry for the PS3 and 4, Devil May Cry 2 for the PS3 and 4, Devil May Cry 3 for the PS3 and 4, Devil May Cry 4 for the PS4, DMC Devil May Cry for the PS3 and 4, and finally Devil May Cry 5 for the PS4 and 5. Next we have Dreams for the PS4 and the Everybody's Golf franchise, which has Everybody's Golf for the PS3 and Vita, Everybody's Golf for the PS4, Everybody's Golf VR for the PSVR, Everybody's Golf 6 for the PS3 and Vita, Hot Shots Golf for the PS4 and 5, Hot Shots Golf 2 for the PS4 and 5, and Hot Shots Golf World Invitational for the PS3 and Vita. Next, there's Fall Guys for the PS4 and 5, Farpoint for the PSVR, Ghost and Goblins Resurrection for the PS4, Ghost of Tsushima for the PS4 and 5, Gravity Rush for the PS Vita, Gravity Rush Remastered for the PS4, and Gravity Rush 2 for the PS4. A few Guilty Gear games are next, which include Guilty Gear XRD Sign for the PS3 and 4, Guilty Gear XRD Revelator for the PS3 and 4, and Guilty Gear Strive for the PS4 and 5. Next, we have Humanity for the PS4 and 5, Eco for the PS3, Infamous for the PS3, Infamous 2 for the PS3, Infamous Second Son for the PS4, and Infamous First Light for the PS4. Up next is Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy for the PS3, 4 and Vita, Jak 2 for the PS3, 4 and Vita, Jak 3 for the PS3, 4 and Vita, Jak X Combat Racing for the PS4, Jak and Daxter The Last Frontier for the PS4 and 5, and Daxter for the PS4 and 5. Next up is Jumpin' Flash for the PS4 and 5, Katamari Forever for the PS3, Katamari Damacy Reroll for the PS4, and Wheel of Katamari Reroll Plus Royale Reverie for the PS4 and 5. Next we have Kenna Bridge of Spirits for the PS4 and 5, a whole lot of Killzone, which include Killzone for the PS3, Killzone 2 for the PS3, Killzone 3 and Killzone 3 Multiplayer for the PS3, Killzone Mercenary for the PS Vita, Killzone Shadowfall for the PS4, and Killzone Liberation for the PS4 and 5. We have Kona Fantasy Reverie for the PS4 and 5, and both Knack and Knack 2 for the PS4, Little Big Planet for the PS3, Little Big Planet Vita for the PS Vita, Little Big Planet 2 for the PS3, Little Big Planet 3 for the PS3 and 4, Little Big Planet Carton for the PS3, and Sackboy Big Adventure for the PS4 and 5. Next up is Medieval, which has Medieval for the PS4 and 5, Medieval Remake for the PS4, and Medieval Resurrection for the PS4 and 5. And now we have pretty much every Metal Gear game, including Metal Gear Rise and Revengeance for the PS3, Metal Gear Survive for the PS4, Metal Gear plus Metal Gear Solid 2 for the PS4 and 5, Metal Gear Solid for the PS4 and 5, Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty for the PS3, 4, 5 and Vita, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater for the PS3, 4, 5 and Vita, Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of Patriots for the PS3, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker for the PS3, and Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain for the PS3 and 4. Let's take a quick break so I can catch my breath, and for those counting at home, that's 178 platinums so far, if I counted correctly. Please subscribe, this took absolutely ages to do. Moving on, we have Mr. Mosquito for the PS4 and 5, and 37 separate MLB games that I'm not naming across the PS3, 4 and 5. Anyways, we have Monster Hunters next with Monster Hunter Stories for the PS4 and Monster Hunter Stories 2 for the PS4, Monster Hunter Frontier Z for the PS3, 4 and Vita, Monster Hunter's World for the PS4, Monster Hunter World Iceborne for the PS4, and Monster Hunter Rise for the PS4 and 5. Next up is Moss and Moss Book 2 for the PSVR and VR2, and Neo 2 for the PS4 and 5. Now we have Oddworlds with Oddworld Apes Exodus for the PS4 and 5, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath HD for the PS3, 4 Vita, Oddworld Munch's Odyssey HD for the PS3 and Vita, Oddworld's New and Tasty for the PS3, 4 and Vita, and Oddworld Soulstorm for the PS4 and 5. Up next we have Okami HD for the PS3 and 4, Onimushi Warlords for the PS4, Parappa the Rapper for the PS4, Patapin 1 and 2 for the PS4, and 12 different PES games with platinums across the PS3 and 4. Next up we have a whole lot of Persona, including Persona 3 Portable for the PS4, Persona 3 Reload for the PS4 and 5, Persona 3 Dancing for the PS4 and Vita, Persona 4 Golden for the PS4 and Vita, Persona 4 Dancing for the PS4 and Vita, Persona 4 Arena for the PS3, Persona 4 Arena Ultimate for the PS3 and 4, Persona 5 for the PS3 and 4, Persona 5 Royal for the PS4 and 5, Persona 5 Strikers for the PS4, Persona 5 Dancing for the PS4 and Vita, and Persona 5 Tactica for the PS4 and 5. Next is PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which could be classed for pretty much everything on this list, but we're focusing on Polygon Man, who is the old advert for the PS1. We also have Puppeteer for the PS3, the Ratchet & Clank series including Ratchet & Clank All for One for the PS3, Ratchet & Clank Full Frontal Assault for the PS3 and Vita, Secret Agent Clank for the PS4 and 5, Ratchet & Clank 1 for the PS3 and Vita, Ratchet & Clank 2 Going Commando for the PS3 and Vita, Ratchet & Clank 3 Up Your Arsenal for the PS3 and Vita, Ratchet Dreadlock for the PS3 and 4, Ratchet & Clank Size Matters for the PS4 and 5, Ratchet & Clank A Crack in Time for the PS3, Ratchet & Clank Into the Nexus for the PS3, Ratchet & Clank 2016 for the PS4, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart for the PS5. Now the Resident Evil games, including Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City for the PS3, Umbrella Corps for the PS4, Resident Evil Resistance for the PS4, Resident Evil for the PS3 and 4, Resident Evil Code Veronica X for the PS4, Resident Evil 0 for the PS3 and 4, Resident Evil 5 for the PS3 and 4, Resident Evil Revelations for the PS3 and 4, Resident Evil 6 for the PS3 and 4, Resident Evil Revelations 2 for the PS3, 4 and Vita, Resident Evil Biohazard for the PS4 and 5, Resident Evil 2 Remake for the PS4 and 5, Resident Evil 3 Remake for the PS4 and 5, Resident Evil Village for the PS4 and 5, and Resident Evil 4 Remake for the PS4 and 5. Next up is Resogun for the PS3, 4 and Vita, Res Infinite for the PS4 and 5, Ridge Racer for the PS Vita, Rogue Galaxy for the PS4, Shadow of the Colossus for the PS3 and 4, Silent Hill 2 HD for the PS3, and Silent Hill 2 for the PS5. We have SingStar for the PS3 and SingStar for the PS3 and 4, which are different games by the way. Next up we have Siren for the PS4 and 5, and a whole lot of franchises next, starting with Sly Cooper and the Thieves Raccoonus for the PS3, 4, 5 and Vita, Sly 2 Band of Thieves for the PS3 and Vita, Sly 3 Honor Among the Thieves for the PS3 and Vita, and Sly Cooper Thieves in Time for the PS3 and Vita. Next is Spyro the Dragon for the PS4, Spyro 2 Ripto's Revenge for the PS4, Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon for the PS4, and Skylanders Spyro's Adventure for the PS3. I'm counting that one because it's referenced in its description. Next up is Stray for the PS4 and 5, Street Fighter X Tekken for the PS3 and Vita, Street Fighter 4 for the PS3, Super Street Fighter 4 for the PS3, Ultra Street Fighter 4 for the PS4, Street Fighter 5 for the PS4, and Street Fighter 6 for the PS4 and 5. Next is Tearaway for the PS Vita, Tearaway Unfolded for the PS4, Tekken Tag Tournament HD for the PS3, Tekken 6 for the PS3, Tekken Tag Tournament 2 for the PS3, Tekken 7 for the PS4, and Tekken 8 for the PS5. We have The Last Guardian for the PS4, The Last of Us for the PS3, The Last of Us Remastered for the PS4, The Last of Us Part 1 for the PS5, The Last of Us Part 2 for the PS4, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered for the PS5, and The Legend of Dragoon for the PS4 and 5. Next up is Tomb Raider, starting with Lara Croft Go for the PS4 and Vita, Tomb Raider 1 for the PS4, Tomb Raider 2 for the PS4, Tomb Raider 3 for the PS4, Tomb Raider Legend for the PS3, 4 and 5, Tomb Raider Anniversary for the PS3, Tomb Raider Underworld for the PS3, Tomb Raider for the PS3, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition for the PS4, Rise of the Tomb Raider for the PS4, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider for the PS4. Tony Hawk's next for some reason, with Tony Hawk Ride for the PS3, Tony Hawk Shred for the PS3, Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD for the PS3, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 for the PS4 and 5, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 for the PS3 and Vita. Next up we have Toro Let's Party for the PS3, Wild Arms 1 and 2 for the PS4 and 5, and Wild Arms 3 for the PS4, Wipeout HD for the PS3, Wipeout 2048 for the PS Vita, and Wipeout Omega Collection for the PS4. And finally, the Yakuza series, including Yakuza 0 for the PS3 and 4, Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2 for the PS4, Yakuza 3 for the PS3 and 4, Yakuza 4 for the PS3 and 4, Yakuza Dead Souls for the PS3, Yakuza 5 for the PS3 and 4, Yakuza 6 Song of Time for the PS4, Yakuza Like a Dragon for the PS4 and 5, and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth for the PS4 and 5. Wow, that is a lot of platinums in the base game of Astrobot, and I've not even done the speedruns yet, so let's quickly get them started and then we'll speak about them. With the new bots found, the list grows even bigger, including Helldivers for the PS3, 4 and Vita, Helldivers 2 for the PS5, Destiny for the PS3 and 4, Destiny 2 for the PS4 and 5, Stellar Blade for the PS5, and Rise of the Ronin for the PS5. There's also Guilty Gear and Resident Evil characters in the DLC, which games I've already spoke about. And there's also someone from a game called Heavenly Blade, which doesn't actually have any trophies, which will bring us into our next segment, the No Platinum list. Including in no particular order, Octodad Daedalus Catch for the PS4 and Vita, Journey for the PS3 and 4, Space Channel 5 Part 2 for the PS3, Space Channel 5 VR for the PSVR, Tokyo Jungle for the PS3, Flower for the PS4, Mad Maestro for the PS2, Boku no Natsuyame for the PS1, which is a Japan exclusive, Vib Ribbon for the PS1, Or no Ryuri for the PS1, Legacy of Kain All Reaver for the PS1, which has a remaster coming in December, Incredible Crisis for the PS1, Jammer Lamy for the PS1, Devil Dice for the PS1, Alundra for the PS1, Intelligent Cube for the PS1, Blood Omen Legacy of Kain for the PS1, Suikoden for the PS1, Air Combat for the PS1, Motor 2 Grand Prix for the PS1, Cool Borders for the PS1, and finally Eyeball Dog and Eyeball Dog 1000, which are just real life toys. I was going to finish here, but then I realised I missed the Astro's Playroom DLC bots. These include Ape Escape and Bloodborne, both of which I've mentioned before, and the other games included are Gran Turismo 5 for the PS3, Gran Turismo 6 for the PS3, Gran Turismo Sport for the PS4, Gran Turismo 7 for the PS4 and 5, and Returnal for the PS5. If anyone was still counting after all that, I applaud you, because I wasn't. I don't even know how many platinums is on this list. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.